There was an amazing team effort to put this together, spearheaded by Pat Bath and Marlen Bodden. And I actually don't have the names of all the committee members, but I know that it was representatives from ALAA, 1199, the caucuses, and others. And I know that this effort was a group effort in many ways, that some of the material was put together and prepared by shared services by Ralston, and that these boards with pictures were prepared by Pat Bath's granddaughter, Natasha, who so talk about making sure that women's history was passed on from one generation to the next. That was a really fabulous thing, and I think we all benefit from that. So I am very excited, as only the second attorney-in-chief of legal aid to be a woman, to be presiding over Legal Aid's Women's History Celebration. The first, Pat Bath told me, was Rosalie Lowe in 1902. So I think it's definitely time to shake things up. And I'm glad to be here and to to get to work among all of you, and particularly among a very strong leadership team of women. All the practice leaders and I are all women, and I think that that is a really, really good thing for legal aid. So I'm excited about that. I know that we all feel it's our honor and privilege to create opportunities for women at legal aid, and hope to provide that leadership by example to prove that there's nothing that women cannot do. In that vein, tonight, we honor the work of many women who came before us, who courageously fought for fair wages and safe work conditions, and began a very long tradition of women in the labor movement. I'm going to give a few brief facts, which if you read all the things around, you would know already, but in case you haven't, in 1843, female textile workers in Lowell, Massachusetts formed the Lowell Female Labor Reform Association to testify before the legislature about dangers and health and safety risks in the workplace. And they petitioned for a 10-hour workday, not something we would consider acceptable today. In 1866, Black women who were newly freed and worked as laundresses in Jackson, Mississippi, formed a union and struck for higher wages. Only a few years later, in 1881, the Knights of Labor agreed to admit women in a chapter called the United Garment Workers of America, and it included thousands of Black laundresses who went to strike for higher wages, respect for their work, and control over how their work was organized. Fast forward to the 1900s, when women throughout this country called for safety in the workplace. Tragically, the 1911 Triangle Shirtwaist Fire here in New York City claimed the lives of 146 female garment workers, but their death really catapulted the whole notion of safety in the workplace for all of us, and we all benefit from the tragedy that they suffered in. We've all heard of Rosie the Riveters during World War II, when 7 million women took industrial jobs to help in the war effort. So women also played a really important role throughout history, the history of the SEIU and the UAW. And today, as we honor the 4 women of the labor movement, I want to thank all of you, all the women members of Legal Aid, of 1199, of ALAA, whose actions collectively and on behalf of our clients has made Legal Aid a better place for all of us to work. So congratulations, and thank you to all of you. And now we turn to our guest speaker, Dreana Bellamy. Dreana is the organizer and acting VP for 1199 SEIU. Just a little bit of background about Dreana. She's an organizer for over 1,600 members. She's negotiated more than 15 successful contracts, resulting in substantial wage increases for her members. She's coordinated and participated in rallies in Albany and in New York on raise the wage to $15 and to stop Medicaid budget cuts. She's coordinated and conducted delegates trainings and successfully rolled out a House Leadership Development Program. And before becoming an organizer, she worked in the legal department of 1199 as a legal assistant, which is probably why legal aid feels a bit like home. Dreana is a passionate advocate and spokesperson for the labor movement and for women's rights in that movement. And please welcome me and please join me in welcoming Dreana.
Thank you, everybody. So, thank you. So, 1199. 1199 is a place that I have grassroots to. I've been part of the 1199 for, I want to say, about, don't think I'm lying, about 50 years. Oh. And I say that because my mom was a delegate for 1199 for 30 years. And I came to work at 1199 as a temp, and I left my job as a supervisor to come and work for 1199 because I love the movement, watching my mom. So with my mom being a member and me being a member and then me being here for about 15 years, combined, I have a lot of time as being a member. And when I got to 1199, they had what they called the Good Old Boys Club, right? There was Dennis Rivera, George Gresham, there was John Reed and Jerry Hudson, and all these men played a particular role in shaping the union. And then sometime in 2000, I want to say about 14, something changed. Dennis went to SEIU, and George Gresham became the president of the union. And when George Gresham became the president of the union, he appointed Maria Castaneda as his secretary-treasurer. And so from then on, it was a domino effect of things happening. In 2016, they restructured the union. And when they restructured the union, they appointed two senior executive vice presidents, Veronica Turner and Yvonne Armstrong. So these women became I would want to say, side by side with George Gresham. And let me tell you a little bit about these women. Maria Castaneda, she migrated to the United States in 1984 from the Philippines. She has been so influential in forming different kinds of caucuses for people who've been struck by disasters. In the Haiti earthquake, she formed something called 1199 SEIU Cares, and they donated over $1 million to Haiti. She is currently the VP of 2.1 million Service International Union workers. She promotes women caucuses. She has the legal department. She has the contract department and the delegates department. She has formed another caucus called Hyann Yolanda, and they have relief work with other SEIU leaders, and they raised over $600,000 and another $1.3 million worth of food and medicines, infant formula, water and wipes for situations where there are disasters. So she already has set up support, so when things happen, we're ahead of the game. Veronica Turner, who's the Senior Executive Vice President of the Healthcare Systems, She was the EVP of the Boston region for over 19 years. In 2017, she coordinated Unity and Power movement with over 5,000 members uh, throughout the tri-state that went to Atlantic City to build a more perfect union for social justice, political action, and to form a better relationship between community and staff members. It was very successful because after we went back, it was a movement so that the union can be more perfect and we could collectively work with the employers. And I can say with the movement that she provided, we have collectively worked together, the union and I, right, and legal aid. We formed a great relationship. In the beginning, it was a little rocky, if I must say so, right? And I consider some of these people that's in management as friends, right? Um, we lost our vice president, Donald Crosswell, which was very devastating for us. And uh, at the funeral, it was very, very, very heartfelt to see that Legal Aid had provided, flowers, and Alan Fox came, and it really touched our heart. I just wanted to touch on that a little bit. So back to the women at the union. Yvonne Armstrong is another pioneer at the union. She works in the nursing home division, but now she's the senior executive vice president. She's been there for over 20 years. She was influential in providing the union to make $15 minimum wage for the home care and the nursing home employees who are the lowest paid workers probably in New York City. And so with that, we now have a $15 minimum wage. And we didn't only stop in New York City, we went upstate into all the different regions fighting for $15 minimum wage for cost of living. And she was very influential in that. Yvonne Armstrong was very successful in winning over 4 presidential and gubernatorial campaigns in Virginia when we got deployed. Many of you know that at certain times I would get deployed, and she was very influential and successful in kind of changing the red states to blue states. And so these women are pioneers of the union, and they have changed the game, so to speak. We just rolled out last year, Yvonne put together this in-house leadership development program, which gave an incentive to our staff that, they could grow as organizers and grow within the union. And it was a wonderful, wonderful program that we're starting our second year. And the people there are the staff now they feel motivated, they feel like they are part of the union, because sometimes staff can feel like they're not part of the union. So in her quest to make the union, a more perfect union, she's done that. Currently at the union, we have over 11 executive vice presidents to the 4 executive vice presidents. We, 1199 SEIU, are growing in our movement. The women and the union are making strides, and we are shaping the union for a more perfect union with women leading the pack. Thank you for having me. Have a great evening.
I just am so happy that we work together, management and the caucuses and the unions and ALAA and 1199 to put this program together, and we did it really quickly. So I think the fact that we were able to do that, I think it's a good sign for us as an organization. So I think from this point forward, we can say that we are going to work together as much as we can, just going forward. And so I just want to say a special shout out to my union sisters in 1199 and UAWALAA. I am very, very proud to be part of the union. When I first came to legal aid, I really thought I was only going to stay for 3 years. And now I've been here over 25 years. And a lot of it has to do with the pride and the passion that I feel for this, that I feel coming from the people in the unions. And so that's what's kept me here. I think we are just so passionate about our clients that that translates into how we treat each other, and I really love that. So just going forward, I just want to say I love being part of the union. Yay!